The following is a presentation of the Hello Chicago Network.
Hello, Chicago Network is on the air. Hello, everybody. I'm Ryan Yadashatis. It's time to focus for this Friday, January the 30th. Guys, this is the third time I've tried to do this show. I keep muting after the first segment, and I forget to turn my mic back on. It's been a terrible week when it comes to that. Recorded a whole thing with my dad on Saturday for the Bears Super Bowl from 1985. That didn't work. I've had technical problems. I have a date with the Geek Squad tomorrow to hopefully save my hard drive, my external hard drive that has all my ringside reports stuff on it. So I've been editing all week. So if I sounded down on the end of Monday's show, I take what I do very personal. And I take it to heart. I take it serious. So the fact that I've been unable to do anything, or the fact that I don't have it, and I lost all the ringside report stuff. So it was an irritating week. So I'm hopefully bouncing back. It's been a rough month overall. I'm starting over the new year starting Sunday with February 1st, because January, trying to get back to the third shift schedule after the holiday break. Then I got sick. Cub convention, which we're going to have an update of that on Monday. So just with all that, and then not getting back to exercising, all that's going to start Monday. So hopefully, or Sunday. So hopefully more positive me. Hopefully this is the final time. So I'm sorry if this is getting posted late, because I'm stupid. Audio problems have not been my thing here today or this week. So hopefully we can get back to that. Hopefully, so January free trial, February I get back in motion. I want to be down to 200 pounds, and I'll give you weight updates for Ryan Focus later on. I keep recording them, but I keep restarting. So hopefully starting this one, and I'll have an update for you guys in March. So let's now that I've rambled on, it's time for a Blackhawk focus. Okay, let's focus on the Blackhawks. And as the theme for today's show, everyone gets a loss. So they lose they were up 3-0 or 2-0, 3-0 over the Wild in Minnesota on Tuesday. Then all of a sudden that game goes to overtime. They end up losing in OT to the Wild 4-3. Thursday they lose at the Penguins 6-2. It's like the second time now they've gotten absolutely trounced by the Penguins. They'll be home against the Blue Jackets Friday tonight, 7:30. And I'll probably still be trying to record this episode at that point on Chicago Sports Network. But yeah, I think right now they're about 8 points out of a playoff spot. There was a chance there. I mean, we were excited that, okay, maybe this team's starting to come together, starting to get it. But I mean, they're 8 points out of a playoff spot. It's going to be very, very hard at this point to try to get in the playoffs. So I think now you start looking at the potential in the future of this team, and hopefully the optimism for next year. I mean, long down the road, but baseball might be in a lockout. We might need, the Bears, we're hoping for that same excitement. The Bulls, we'll get into in a minute. But for the Blackhawks, hopefully they're going to lead us into the spring of next year, hopefully trying to get back to the playoffs that we haven't seen in a while. And we've seen Kane come back. We've seen Taves come back. We saw Derrick Rose and them come back with the Bulls. So we've seen those good days of Chicago. We want them back with Connor Bedard. We have a great core of Chicago athletes, and we want to see them. We've seen PCA be shown. We've elevated in the national spotlight. Caleb Williams. Now it's time for Connor Bedard. Hopefully that'll be the case, but they need to start winning games. So hopefully it's more optimism and post Olympic break that we start to see this team band together, and really we can look into at the end of the year, be like, you know what, I'm ready for hockey, and I'm going to get into it. Every year I say I'm going to get into it. It's hard. A team needs to be relevant for me to watch, especially hockey when it's my fourth sport. I'm sorry. So hopefully, and then they've made me tune in, but still not catch and now that they're 8 points out, hopefully they can try to bring me back in, but it's hard with hockey. And I've been honest with you guys with that. It's not my sport, but I'll try my best. And when I got into hockey is when they were really good. So hopefully we'll get that again. Take a time out here on Hello Chicago Network. When we come back, we'll talk about the Bulls and their losses this week, and who knows what will happen next. And I'm not hitting the mute button because that's where I screw up. So that's next on the Hello Chicago Network. of a championship. We're going to try that again. Derrick Rose brought excitement and probably the most excitement to Bulls basketball and hope of a championship in my lifetime. What he was able to do when he was healthy, the exciting, he had some great buzzer beaters. He had one against Milwaukee, and I believe he had one against the Knicks. He was there. He was the guy. I mean, those teams with him, Noah, just a strong, Taj Gibson, those guys, Luol Deng, and they were all there to do the speech. Tom Thibodeau was his coach, and he even put to rest. He had the picture in his speech sitting there when he tore his ACL against I believe the Sixers in the playoffs, the year that everyone thought they were going to win the championship, and your guy goes down. And he said, a lot of people blame Tom Thibodeau for injury. He said, F that.
The boys are back in town. The boys are back in town. I said the boys are back in town. The boys are back in
town. I didn't hit the mute button. We're still on. Let's get right into the Bulls focus. Not a good week there either. Let's start it off against Monday against LeBron, possibly his last time at the United Center against the Bulls, and he was able to get a nice win, 129-118. Then on Wednesday, they were up 10 points, I think, on the Pacers. This isn't the Eastern Conference champion Pacers either. They're from last year. Their best player out for the season, Tyrese Halliburton. Then Miles Turner's in Milwaukee, and everything that's happening there. And the Bulls have lost now 3 games to them. So that just tells you they're a mediocre team. 113-110. And then Thursday, the Heat, they lose 116-113. They have 2 games up against the Heat. That was the makeup from the floor debacle last week, only what happened to the Bulls. And then they'll be at Miami Saturday, 7 p.m., Sunday, 5 p.m., both on Chicago Sports Network. And I mean, really, the team they're probably going to see in the playoffs. And a week from today, we're going to be, and actually the thing is, the Heat this probably won't be the case, because the Heat, unless they get Giannis, because the Heat are moving up the Eastern Conference. The Bulls most likely go back into the playoffs. Heat are in on Giannis. I hope he goes to the Western Conference. I don't want to deal with them in the East anymore. The shit show that's going on in Milwaukee, and actually it might be the first time the Bulls of Chicago might have a full year being better than Wisconsin, because the Bucks were always better than the Bulls, but they're going to be irrelevant again. Doc Rivers brought that team, sunk them. So, I mean, that's good. But so we'll see what happens there. But the Bulls we're so used to, it's like we're such great sports fans here in Chicago. And the fact that we have to sit here and watch mediocrity and not know the direction of a team. And it took 5 years for the White Sox to finally start to show, you start to see the light at the end of the tunnel. Well, guess what? The Bulls and White Sox, if you don't know, are owned by the same guy, Jerry Reinsdorf. And you still don't know which way the Chicago Bulls are going to go. So we're going to have to sit here and wait. And he's satisfied with mediocrity and hosting one playing game where they get their ass kicked and out the door. Well, guess what? Let's get answers. A week from today, we're going to be doing the trade deadline specials. It'll be fully Bulls. And we're going to come on here. I'm going to come on here very pissed off if there's not a direction. Because this team needs a direction. Either sell it all or say you want to make a playoff push. They're going to back in the playoffs this year. They're going to have 1 or 2 playoff games, and then they're going to be done. So, I mean, where are we going to be a week from today when we're talking solely Bulls? Brandon might be here too. And Brandon's always the positive guy, though. I'm not going to be positive. When you have the Jordan era, it was nice to see the Derrick Rose era. That's why it was so refreshing, because that was when Bulls basketball was great. Yes, the second half last year was fun. It was nice, but then it ended. And we want to see constant winning from this Bulls team. The Bulls have always been my second favorite team. Bears are going to pass them. I want to see winning. I'm 34 years old. I don't have any real memories of the Bulls winning championships. And I want to see a team. I've seen them in the conference finals up 1-0 against the Heat. That's the best I've gotten in my Bulls fandom as an adult. I want to see more. And hopefully next Friday, when we're talking Bulls, I could come on here. They can make no moves, but I can guarantee I'm going to have something to say. But I want answers. Where is this team going to be a week from today? Are they going to make the playoff push? Great. Are they going to sell and completely redo it? They re-signed Giddey. I think him, Buzelis, Okoro, that's a good start. Patrick Williams, no one wants you. It was a terrible draft pick. Nikola Vucevic can't stop a leak. And I mean, Kobe White, you probably could have got more for him last year. Is anyone going to want him this year? I hear there's rumors about it. They're probably going to ask a haul for him. I don't know. Just do something. Show us where you're at. Don't dick around. The Bulls fans are smart and they're starting to not go to games. And that's where it's going to affect them. So make up your goddamn mind, Chicago, AK-47, who's completely blown this whole thing up, and Jerry Reinsdorf. Coming from a passionate Chicago Bulls fan, get your shit together. God damn. That's the Bulls focus. We're going to take a time out. When we come back, we're going to focus on the Northwestern's schedule that was released as they're going to get ready to open up Ryan Field in September. That's going to close out the show. That's next. But first, it's time for the most important focus of the day. It's time for the Ryan Focus. Hot damn. Okay, welcome back here to the Hello Chicago Network. That was the Ryan Focus you saw there. I'm 6-11 last year. I think I was like 2-17-1. It was terrible last year. So I've actually done a pretty good job. Most of them have been guys I predicted to go back to their old team. And then I had Kyle Tucker going to the Dodgers because he's a sellout. So I'm 6-11. Still some good guys on the table. Of more updates of that coming up in the next month. And then also our next Fan Focus Live was will be Saturday, February 21st. Going to watch Bulls against Pistons. And then we're also going to look back at some Bulls-Pistons moments. So that'll be fun. As again, that's a rivalry that, I mean, my Piston Bull rivalry was the Bulls. I think Derrick Rose era, and I think it was the Heinrich Gordon era, and the Pistons were just romping them. I believe the Bulls eliminated the Heat the year after they won the title. And I think they lost to the Pistons then, but that was the Ben Wallace, Rasheed Wallace, Chauncey Billups, Rip Hamilton. That was my era. That's when I really, really loved basketball. So we'll talk about all that kind of stuff as well. But we're going to look back at the Jordan year in commercial breaks to sweep over the Pistons to finally begin their run. So anyway, that's that. Now it's time for Northwestern Wildcats Focus. Okay, let's recap what the schedule looks like for 2026 as it just came out, of course, built for this. And of course, the new Ryan Field. Hopefully we're going to be there early on in the year. That'll be season 3. Hopefully we'll get a chance to go there, be able to see what they got. But they're going to be home against South Dakota State to open things up at Evanston. That's Saturday, September the 5th. Then they're bye weeks after week 2, and then they don't have another bye the rest of the year. And then they'll welcome in. So, I mean, that's going to be a negative. Then they'll welcome in Deion Sanders in Colorado on the 19th. Then they'll face the defending champions in Indiana on the 26th. And then October on the 5th, they'll be home to face Penn State, home to face Ball State on the 10th. Then they'll face Pat Fitzgerald as he'll get his first chance of coaching against the team that fired him. For everything that happened, but did it really happen? That'll be October 17th in Michigan State. Home against Rutgers on the 24th. At Oregon on Halloween. Home against Iowa on November 7th. On the road for 2 games on the 14th and 21st. Ohio State, Minnesota, and then home against Illinois. I know Big Ten is crazy, and I think it's going to be tough. I mean, even podcasts talking about it, that it's going to be tough for this. It's a tough conference. And it's going to be very tough for Northwestern. I know they got some good coaches. Hopefully they find the quarterback. You really started to see it, but they're in a tough conference, man. and it's very hard to see this team ever compete for a championship. So, I mean, if they can just be in the conversation, but that is going to be a very, very tough schedule. So Bears and Northwestern are going to have some tough schedules in 2026, and we're going to get to see these teams put to the test if they can actually do it. So that is the Northwestern, our final Northwestern focus of the season is that is the schedule, and we'll be looking towards that in season 3 of Hello Chicago Network coming up in the fall. But we got it summer, we got all that stuff coming up. So preview for Monday, we're going to update you. We'll have Blackhawks and Bulls focus. Don't forget the Royal Rumble this weekend. If you're watching this on Raise the Bar TV, which will be posted at its normal time, that will Royal Rumble warm up is already up. Wrap up coming up on Sunday as we kick off the road to WrestleMania. So everyone have a great weekend. We will see you Monday. Don't forget a week from today, trade deadline, as we'll talk to you about the Bulls and where their season is. As you can see, I was pissed about that. So everyone have a great weekend. It's still snowing. I hate January. I'm ready for February on Sunday. I'm Ryan Yatashatis from the Hello Chicago Network. We're the focus of Chicago